Now to some more news. A dog rescue shelter in Piscataquis County is under fire after last week's storm knocked a tree down on one of the buildings there.
It happened in Sebec. State officials say it was the hardest hit shelter in Maine. Zach Blanchard joins us now. Zach, apparently folks in the community say the response to help those dogs was not enough.
Well, that's exactly what we looked into, and it all really started with a Facebook post. More than 300 comments in response to photos that appear to show dogs trapped in kennels under a massive pine tree hours after the storm. One person saying, "Wow, I am speechless," and others saying things like, "That is so wrong," and "Please call state police and animal control." So we went to get answers. For dozens of dogs, this place is a second chance.
Those dogs come to her traumatized.
Which is why when a tree landed on part of the Give a Dog a Home shelter, people in the community feared the worst.
I can't even imagine the trauma that those dogs went through inside that building.
Sheila LaChance, who says she once volunteered there, posted these photos she says were taken on the property to Facebook. She says not only was part of the shelter damaged, the owner was out of the country.
Would a person live in a building with a tree laying across it?
News Center reached out to the shelter owner, Jenny Cope, who declined an interview, and directed us to her post on Facebook, where she says in part, the dogs were well cared for by very respectable, honest, reliable, and caring friends and members of the community. So this isn't a personal thing between the two of you?
No, it's not. What's important to me is the animal.
LaChance, as well as Stacy Schaefer, who lives down the road, say local and state officials have not done enough to ensure the facility is safe, and this was the breaking point.
Fortunately, when the tree fell, the dogs weren't injured or killed or pinned that we know of, because they would have been there all day.
News Center reached out to the local animal control officer, Joe Guyot. He calls the situation a, quote, witch hunt against the owner and referred us to the state animal welfare program. They say an inspector was there the day after the storm to look things over.
Of all the shelters statewide, that was the one that sustained the greatest damage from the storm.
Documents show the shelter is up to date on recent inspections and past inspections following a single complaint filed back in 2015. Still, as the tree remains on the building a week after the storm, community members and hundreds of people on Facebook are taking aim, hoping these dogs are getting the care they need.
Those dogs come from bad situations. They shouldn't go from the frying pan into the fryer.
Now, both the owner and the state tell us dogs are no longer in that part of the shelter where the tree fell. The state says they have since visited the facility several times and will continue to check in to ensure the proper steps are being taken. Lee and Sharon.
All right. Important to know that as far as we know, none of the dogs were hurt.
Right.
So,
correct.
Thanks,
correct.
Zach.